Oh hi guys, let's see the wide implications of all the cards. I think like in Rogue they are trying to push an archetype, like Upper Dancing is too slow, the tracker is like doesn't fit into anything, or it's like the one cost is too slow for wild because it's not tempo and it's not a pirate. If it were a pirate then this would be an auto include card, but line weight is like shuffle 5 cards into your deck. Like you will be dead to aggro, so this whole package is for standard. So in Wild, Rogue is not playable. Warrior, like the Watcher will be like a B tier card, like or a C, maybe a C tier card, A, B, C, or if we call it S, then it's a B. But it's a combo card actually with the floating berserkers. But actually, if you put in the berserkers, will you survive? Like in a Renatal deck, I can see it like a combo Renatal, and it will kill like many control decks. But aggro, maybe you die to aggro, but you are a control deck, so it's like a tier 3 or tier 4 deck. Maybe nobody will play that. The other cards are. I'm just looking at them, and I don't think. Um, the Sharnado is like, on one hand, it's like a board clear, on the other, it's like. It's not like on the other. One point is it's a board clear. It's even. It's an even cost card, and also it's pretty good in like an Odin type deck. I think for a control tool. Deal 3 damage. This is way too slow. Deal 5 damage. Gain 5 armor. Costs 3 less. Even a 5 mana 3/3 dragon. Like maybe you put it in like a Dark Gift Odin Warrior. And it's also an even cost card, so maybe this will spawn a new archetype, which will be like tier 4, tier 3, so it doesn't. We don't seem to care about that. Survive 10 turns, enter the Lost City, and you get two. And you get. Oh, and you get 2 random quests. Or you got 2 random quest rewards, which can be good, but not the best. Arcalas is an S tier card. In Shadow Priest, the Wizard Shadow is a meme card. That is also a combo card, and it's not guaranteed it will cause lethal damage, so I'm not sure about that. It's also 7 mana, so. Story of Amara. Actually, if it were like something other than than 10 mana, because even Reno, in Renato Reno, even Reno is too slow. Not speaking of like a 10 mana card. So Reach Equilibrium is unplayable, but Arceus, as I said, it's like an OP card, even wild, especially if you throw it onto in free, because you will have a full board of pirates or things like that. Reach Equilibrium doesn't go into like many decks, and also there are mass silences, so I don't see it. Give them Reborn. The Resuscitate? I never heard that word. Resurrect to 1 twin free cost minion. I mean, the problem is that Priest has much better alternatives than Wild, and this doesn't go into anything like. The Siren costs 1 less if you're played a Holy and the Shadow spell this turn. It costs 1 actually, but I don't think like Shadow Priest is too OP to play anything else. But it actually in a Reno deck maybe. Story of Amara also in a Reno deck may be playable, and Equilibrium in a Reno deck is playable, but I don't think they are like so good. So because of the mass silence, like you just run an ETC, and then the Starfish, and that's about your quest reward, and the other ones are kind of meh. So Shadow and the Holy Reno Priest maybe, but it will be tier 4, like it loses to like every other combo deck that is out there, so I don't know. Especially even control combo decks like Warrior, it loses her to Odin if you can't control his or her own Odin. Let's see the Death Knight cards. Wave of Tar. Well, Actually, the problem with Wave of Tar is like you don't want these runes. Maybe you can say that you can play it in an even Death Knight with climactic necrotic explosion, but I don't see it. Therefore, damage and draw a card, Kindred draw another. So if you've played a Frost spell last turn, you draw 2, therefore way too slow. Dreaded Raptor, Battlecry draw the after a minion that costs 3 or less, Kindred East costs 0. I don't think so. No, not really. Rash Lifesteal costs corpses instead of mana, which is... Actually, this can go into like 3 Unholy, which is like can be good. High Cultist Heron, it's like alright. This one is spent 2 corpses, and you get the Tyrox Bone Terror. The problem with Tyrox, it's like a death rattle minion, and silences are pretty frequent in Wild. Discover an Undead, so I don't think Death Knight. Just the High Cultist Heron, like in a control deck, maybe can see play. Paladin, give a minion 3 random bonus effect. Get a random spell from your deck that costs 2 or less. Target this is possible. I mean, it's a Murloc. Or another Murloc, and this is like a pretty tier 2, tier 3 card. Because there is healing in the Murloc decks, maybe, and you can outvalue like aggro, but there is a combo like with a charger, you know, and you get it to 10 or 11 or something like that, and the charger kills them. And the problem with Dive the God of Adept is the Murlocs you want is like 2 Murlocs, so the only deck that is viable is like Anything Can Happen Paladin, which is like even now a meme deck. So in Wild I don't see it as being that prevalent, so but it's infinite stats, so in Standard it will be broken, utterly broken, it will be nerfed, but in Wild it's like an okay card, so it's nothing to be excited about. Needy of the Crater, whenever you play a 1-cost minion, double its stats, whenever you cast a 1-cost spell, cast it twice. Actually Neary is not that good, because it's not a tempo card. I mean, it can survive a turn, but against anything, you know, Hunter doesn't. It's not board centric, so you want to play like hero power Hunter, and if you want to play it in Wild, then you have to have support for it, and this card doesn't support it that much. Old map, Cower in Fear. Deal 3 damage to minion. The next beast you play this turn costs 2 less. No, that's too slow. At the end of your turn, reduce the cost of random. No, too slow. Too slow. Too slow. This is way too slow for 5 because it's too close to. If it were like 2 mana or 1 mana, like I can see it like the Murloc buff. That was great because it was 2 mana, and this is way too costly. The Food Chain, play 1, 3, 5 and 7 cost beast, and you get Shock, which is, I don't know what it is, but the problem is in Wild you don't want to play Beast Hunter because it loses to aggro, it loses to control, it loses to combo, it loses to everything, even board centric decks. So, and by that logic, the Matriarch is not good. Story of Karnas for 2 mana. In Wild, this is not good enough. Warlock, not even, but this can actually make like Warlock, like Arena Warlock, playable deck. So it's a pretty good card. So look for Resida. Destroy an enemy minion. Kindred deal 2 damage to all enemy minions. It doesn't play 6 temporary cards. Like it's way too slow, and there is like mass silences or mass removal cards. Even though it's infinite in Wild, it's not that good. Would you rather play like Demon Seed Lock or this? And the question is, becomes abandoned. You would rather play the other quest, the United Stormwind quest. Neutral, unplayable. I just look for cards that are kind of playable, I think. This one is, I don't think it's playable. City Chief Osho is like, I think it's a fine card actually. City Chief Osho. Uh, in like, I don't know, it's in a tribal deck, any tribal deck, and people say, oh, it's way too slow. Not really, because if you have like many charges, I don't know which class has many charges, but you play this on 6 and you play like 2 or 3 charges on the next turn, if they are like pirates or murlocs or something, then it's like a high-end finisher for like a tribal deck. So I wouldn't write that off. Uh, this is way too slow. Diesel Wingoose, like Mark has proven that it's a great card. Blob of Tra, well, it's questionable. Alice the Navigator, you have to pay mana for it, and the deck restriction in Wild, it's like in a Reno deck maybe, or a control deck. Maybe you can see it a few times, but otherwise, Umbra is like one of the best cards of the set. This is unplayable. Questing Assistant is not that good. Demon Hunter. Let's see with Demon Hunter. Demon Hunter, I don't think anything is playable. The Unleash the Colossus, maybe. Deal exactly 2 damage to an enemy on your turn 15 times. It's. I mean, would you rather play another deck in Demon Hunter? And I think the answer is yes, so it won't see play. The Living Legend can be good in Druid because it has ramp. The only card that is playable. This is too huge of a restriction for any deck that is. I mean, you are trying to go wide, but you don't get the effect of the Everbloom, so because it's way too slow, way too slow. It's minimum like 6 or 7 turns, and by then you lose to aggro. Like the Living Legend is like good because it can give you healing, it reduces the base cost of any giant. So with giants, it's like a pretty good card. Let's see, Shaman in Wild. I think both the legendaries are pretty good. One of them is not that good in Wild, like the Brahman Seastone, but Spirit of the Mountain, I can see it actually. Play 7 minions of unique types, because there are the amalgams, which count as like, if you play like 2 amalgam type of minions, that's already 4, and you just weave in something. I mean, I can see it. In standard it will be OP, in Wild it will be a playable deck, I think. Mage has the Forbidden Sequence, like that's pretty good. This can never attack and way too slow, but this quest is like pretty good, and the support for it is there. The Origin Stone is like pretty good, but in Wild you have to remember that ETC exists, so weapon distraction exists, and they can steal it with Cobalt Sticky Finger, and this will be the primary thing. Like I think the ETC minion will be like either secret removal, Cobalt Sticky Finger, and things like mass silences. And with these 3 you cover most of the meta, because Rogue is unplayable with its shuffle stuff, and the Steam Cleaner doesn't make the cut. But if Rogue can shuffle, then Steam Cleaner will be an auto include in the ETC. It depends on the meta, I think. It always depends on the meta. But that's about it. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day. Bye bye.